Let me now bring in our guest. Amitabh Sinha is a senior advocate in the Supreme Court. Amina Ansari, political analyst. Firoz Ahmed Bakht, former chancellor of the Maulana Azad National Urdu University. Asghar Khan, senior advocate, and will also be joined by Saira Shah Halim, author and activist. Amina Begum, let me start with you first. The contention of the Muslim side, the girls who went to court in challenge against this order by the Karnataka state government, was that wearing hijab is an essential religious practice. The Karnataka High Court did not buy that argument. It struck down that argument. In the Supreme Court, the argument that was made forth, and that's what Justice Dhulia has also upheld, is that this was never about ERP. This was always about being wearing hijab being a freedom of choice. Now, the point is, A, the goalposts are being shifted because clearly wearing hijab is not an essential religious practice, because if it were, then every Muslim woman would have to wear a hijab, including people like yourself, and that's not the case. Millions of Muslim women across the world do not wear a hijab. Therefore, it's not essential or mandatory. But this shifting of the goalpost from ERP argument in the High Court to now just simply freedom of choice argument in the Supreme Court, that is problematic.
Yeah, exactly. I have been saying this thing. I have been giving this argument for very long that this is not the part of the Islam. This is a cultural dress code, which also comes from the Saudi Arabia culture, not even from the Indian culture. So nobody can actually prove that it is an essential part of Islam. There is a 5 pillars of Islam, and that are essential. Even that. 5 pillars are not mandatory. There comes many circumstances where one cannot can perform those rituals. So making this entire things turning into an attack of Muslim identity is the main I think is the main agenda here. So that's why we are seeing this entire goalpost thinking this is about the freedom of choice. But how it can be a choice when this is a patriarchal construct, when a society expects you to behave in a certain way?
All right, let me ask Saira Shah Halim. The ERP argument got completely blown out in the Karnataka High Court. Therefore, the argument changed. The goalpost changed in the Supreme Court. But Saira Shah Halim, I am very curious to know what the deferring judge today, Mr. Dhulia, Justice Dhulia, said. And he quoted the Bijoy Emanuel judgment from 1986 by the Kerala High Court. And it's fascinating to me that you have a judgment of a High Court in this country which says it's okay for people not to sing the national anthem under freedom of religious practice. I mean, why should any religion bar anyone from singing the national anthem? And that's kosher in this country.
See, definitely national anthem has to be mandatory. There is no debate on that, be it schools, institutions, everywhere, because that national anthem is a pride. So, what was the other question? One second.
I'm saying that can't be the basis of the deferring judge today saying that if 2 students who were apparently Jehovah's Witnesses were allowed not to sing the national anthem, then the same should apply to people, girl students wearing the hijab.
Yeah, I feel one thing is there, that here you must have seen the ratio of the dropouts. In these varsities, it has been immense. Now, here we cannot, where these girls come from really orthodox, conservative Muslim families, here we cannot put another hurdle on them, impose another hurdle on them. So the parents find a reason not to send them to school. It is really tragic. Here we should encourage the child to go to school in hijab or without the hijab. Now, what happens is the children, I'm telling you, the orthodox parents, because I know what the mindset is in conservative Muslim families. The mindset is the girl is going out in the big bad world. And if she is wearing the hijab, she's somehow protected. Rather, she is kind of...
No, but Saira, that argument, if I may, that argument does not hold because by that logic, you can also justify triple talaq. Right? It's a regressive practice. It is a regressive practice. I mean, the justification of something that is... One second, can I finish? Give me 10 seconds. Justification of something that is bad in law by saying, oh, that's how the conservative practice is because a greater evil will happen. If you don't allow this to happen, then, I mean, that doesn't make a legal argument.
Okay, Saka, what is better? Okay,
Saira, yeah.
So
Amina, please yield. Saira, I've asked the question to Saira. Let her answer.
Let me speak, please.
Yes.
So what is evolution? Going to school? or stopping the girls from school, saying that hijab, what do you call, is no longer, what do you call it, hijab is not compulsory, or rather you will be asked to disrobe yourself outside the varsity, so you will not go to school. So what is better? Having uneducated girls or having educated girls? What is better?
I'll tell
So
you
I
what.
think
I'll tell you what is
rather
evolution.
let the child,
No,
let
since
me
you
finish.
asked the question.
Let the child wear the hijab and get an
No,
education.
I agree
Or,
on principle that no one has the right to deny anybody an education for whatever reason. A right to education is as much a fundamental right. No, but Saira, since you asked, and I'll bring in the other guests also. Since you asked me what is evolution, to my mind, what is evolution is what is happening in Iran right now.
Okay,
Tens
just one
of
more point,
millions
please.
of
Just one
women
more point.
coming
Zaka,
out
I get
and
it.
rejecting the hijab, cutting their hair
Okay.
because Masha
Yeah.
Amini was killed because of the
You're
moral
talking
police.
about another
That is
country.
evolution. What is happening
So
in
that
Iran
is
right
I
now is
definitely
evolution.
agree.
That's my view. You can differ with it.
Zaka, second. So are we going to use the Iran analogy with India? Because it's a different country, right? It's
Of
a
course it
different
is.
geopolitics altogether.
Of course
So
it is.
here, okay, if you're talking about reforms, any religion, it takes time. Let me even reform Hinduism took a very long time, and here I'm talking about the dark era before the social reformers actually worked their way through, and
Yes.
girls started going to school, and the whole dowry system was done away with, and all other regressive practice. So it
Yes.
takes a huge amount of time and effort to bring in reforms. And here we cannot expect miracles in a day. If we want to do away with regressive practices, let's start with all religions, right? Why single out one religion? There's parda system even in Hinduism. Let me tell
you
you,
are
there is gender.
validating your own argument that
No,
like in Hinduism there was the regressive practice of sati, the practice of dowry. Today you have a law in this country.
that
It is
was in the
illegal
way.
to give dowry or to take dowry. There's a law. It is
But
illegal.
it happens, right?
Yeah.
But it's still prevalent, right?
No,
Dowry is still prevalent.
that does
Despite the
not
despite
make
the,
it no,
what you
ma'am,
redoing of the
ma'am.
malpractices.
Let's be very clear. I want to get the others also, please, with your permission. Let me get Feroz Ahmed Baq. One part of the argument is there is the law of the land. In the case of dowry, the law of the land is very clear. Giving dowry, taking dowry is illegal. Period. That is the job of the law. The job of the law is to act as a deterrent. The law does not mean 100% guarantee against social or cultural practices, even if they are regressive. But Feroz Ahmed Baq, ma'am, please, I've spent a lot of time with you. Let me get the others also, please. Feroz Ahmed Baq, the point is, and I keep going back to this, no feminist can say that wearing a hijab, even if you're bringing forth the freedom of choice argument, that wearing a hijab is a progressive practice. It is not. It is a regressive practice, it is a patriarchal practice, and it is an anti-feminist practice. I'm very clear about it. Feroz Ahmed Baq.
All right. Zaka Saab, am I audible to you?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Now, usually your debates are very calm, cool, and composed like you are. But today I can see some heckling and some kind of disorder. Anyway, I hope that I will not be heckled in. I will not be disturbed in between. Now, let me tell you one thing. There are some people who are trying to misguide and mislead these girls. They are radicalizing the entire situation. I do not know what for. What is the reason? Politics, it is something else, whatever it is. You are right, Zaka, when you have said that if these girls are not leaving their hijab in the classroom, this is very much regressive. It is not progressive. And let me remove one big misconception. That is, they are saying hijab is banned in India. It is not banned in India. I was in UAE recently. There, many people ask me what is happening against Muslims. I said nothing. Everything is at peace. Everything is wonderful. Muslims are having a good time in India. And, these people are saying it is banned. It is not banned. Only according to the system of the dress code of the school, it is not allowed in the classroom. These girls can enter the school campus. They can wear it on the grounds. They can wear it in the canteen, anywhere else in the library. But in the classroom, there might be some reason that the school authorities have denied the permission to the hijab. Now 10 months these girls are out of their classroom, Zaka. If a child does not attend the class even for 1 or 2 days, see the kind of loss these girls are having. We had Fatima Begum, who was the first Muslim judge. In fact, she used to wear burqa and hijab everywhere. But when she used to sit on the seat of judgment in the court of law, then she was told there's a dress code. She followed that dress code. And out of that, and we just a minute, just 5 more seconds, Zaka, please, 5 more seconds. And you see Tajammul Hussain, she's a Kashmiri girl. And she is today the kickboxing gold medalist from India. We are proud of her. We have so many people like her. We have Sania Mirza, right? There are women, who get good education, and these people who are not allowing these girls to go to the classroom, they are saying no hijab, no kitab. They are actually making their future bleed.
Okay.
These girls will be tomorrow's judges. These will be tomorrow's
Saira may have a limited
doctors.
point that no one should be denied education. The right to education is a fundamental right. No one who's coming in the way of a girl child and her education, that should be criminal. Now the point is, Asghar Khan.
No, she is right.
I'm asking Asghar Khan, sir. Thank you. Asghar Khan Sahab. The point is, who is coming in the way? Who is coming in the way? The parents of these children are coming in the way, saying that if they are not allowed to wear hijab in the classroom, then we will not send them. You can't fault the state for that. The state has issued an order. Yes, you're well within your legal right to challenge that order. But to say that the state is denying them an education, that is again disingenuous. There may be many millions of Muslim families. No, there may be many millions of Muslim families, Asghar Khan Sahab, whose parents allow their children to go to school, Muslim girls, without wearing the hijab. They are not denying the right to education.
I would like to start from here, that the slogan raised by the government, "Ladki bachao, ladki padhao," I'm in favor of that slogan. And moreover, meanwhile, some discussion was raised for the Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan. These are not our country. Our country is India. I love my India, and we are the citizen of India. As well as your question, I think what it makes difference if a girl is wearing hijab. In Christian, she is wearing a scarf. In Sikh brothers, they are carrying turban on their head. It makes no difference. And if you go through the study, then the hijab girls are topper in the class and in the school also. They are on such services, they are flying the even aeroplanes. My submission is that this is a paper political issue. It was raised by the state first, thereafter they reached to the court, and thereafter High Court, and thereafter to Supreme Court, thereafter to Supreme Court. It's a paper political issue, and
Asghar Khan Sahab,
you know better than me.
We all know the politics. I don't want to get I don't want to get into the politics. Asghar Khan Sahab, argue on law, argue on merit. नहीं लॉ के बारे में बताइए. नहीं मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ. नहीं मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ. एक छोटी सी सवाल. असगर खान साहब, you said yes, women are flying aircraft these days, right? Tomorrow, if there is a fighter pilot of the Indian Army or the Indian Air Force who also happens to be a Muslim girl, can she insist that she has to wear a hijab while entering the cockpit of the fighter jet? बताइए.
Just now I heard on your channel that some students were giving their version that kindly keep it on our choice. It should be live on their choice.
मेरा सवाल का जवाब दीजिए ना. मेरा सवाल का जवाब दीजिए असगर खान साहब. I'm asking you, there are many women pilots of the Indian Army, Indian Air Force in this country. Tomorrow, if they insist, let's say one of them happens to be a Muslim woman fighter pilot, she insists I have to wear the hijab while entering the cockpit. That'll be allowed?
I think
he has no answer. He will change the goalposts.
If anything is related with the religion, it should be allowed. What is the problem in it?
No, this is
I
not
fail
allowed.
to
It's
understand.
against-
I
it's
fail to
against
understand
the,
what is the problem.
Army Act. It's
Asghar
against
Saab,
the
kya
law of
baat
the
kar
land.
What is the
Anyway, by the way, I think somebody
Absolutely.
pointed